Oh, God. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Woo! Ooh, shit. It's like I have to poop, but then I already started recording. So it's whenever I record, I just like to do it, all at once. I don't like taking no breaks. Because if I take a break, I'm not going to come back and let's go. Oh, I got the hiccups. Let's go. Something. Hold on. All right.
So she just kept going and kept going and kept going and just didn't stop until Samantha died. The way Samantha had died, because it was so vicious, and I just couldn't understand how a 15-year-old girl could do that.
Now, what image comes to your mind when you think of a murderer? For most people, they never imagined that a teenage girl could be capable of such a horrifying crime. So when a teen mom was brutally murdered, her family would never have believed that the perpetrator was actually a 15-year-old girl. Let's look into the case of the 15-year-old who killed a teen mom and got released from jail just to go back again 6 months later.
Huh? What? Go back.
So when a teen mom was brutally murdered, her family would never have believed that the perpetrator was actually a 15-year-old girl. Let's look into the case of the 15-year-old who killed a teen mom and got released from jail just to go back again 6 months later.
Released from jail? Oh, shit.
Samantha Madgin was born in Wallsend, England in 1989. She was the middle child of Allison and Stan Madgin and had an older brother Lee and a younger sister Carly. According to Allison, Samantha was beautiful from day one. She was energetic, outgoing, friendly, and always ready to help those around her. Samantha was also super popular in school and was liked by everyone, including her teachers and classmates. She was described as a good listener, always positive, and willing to uplift those who were down. Her sister Carly said that Samantha would always look out for her and make sure that she was okay. Samantha wanted to be a model and had even booked herself in a local modeling agency. However, when she was 18, her life took an unexpected turn when she got pregnant. At first, this totally scared her and she didn't know what to do. But according to her family and friends, Samantha soon embraced her situation and was even excited about becoming a new mom. In the documentary Britain's Deadliest Kids, Samantha's sister Carly said that Samantha was going to all her doctor's appointments and sharing her ultrasound images with everyone who was willing to see.
And I remember she would let us feel the baby kick, and you could just see the excitement in her face, and she was always smiling about it.
But around this time, Samantha's mom, Allison, started having some really disturbing premonitions that something bad was about to happen.
It was such a weird feeling.
Yeah. She got the Adidas J. But it skipped a generation because her daughter don't got it.
I used to say to my friends at work, I'm sure she's going to die giving birth, because I had this horrible gut feeling all the time. I used to think that always had this horrible feeling something bad was going to happen.
In May 2007, Samantha got her baby safely, and she named him Callum. But then on August 2nd, 10 weeks after her son was born, Samantha decided to take a break and go out with her friends for a while. Sadly, that was the last time her family would ever see her alive again.
Jesus.
That day, Samantha left her son in the care of her sister and went to the beach with her friends. They stayed there until early in the evening when Samantha decided to drop by her house and check on her son.
I came back to check on Callum and to check on me. and I hadn't done his bottle on time. So it was when she walked in, he was actually crying, and but I was waiting for the bottle to cool down, and she actually told us off.
According to Carly, Samantha wanted to cancel her plans and stay in with her son, but Carly encouraged her to go out with her friends, saying that she would look after Callum. So Samantha and her friends headed out to another friend's house for some drinks. Around 11:30 p.m., the group decided that it was time to go home. And since most of them lived in the area, they decided to walk. They had only gone for a short distance when they came across a group of 4 men. One of Samantha's friends allegedly made a comment about one of the guys, which the strangers found offensive. And when Samantha and her friends were about to reach Samantha's home, 2 of the men from before came out of a nearby apartment building and confronted them. A fight soon broke out between the 2 men and Samantha's friends. Samantha jumped in and tried to break up the fight, but then someone started attacking her with a knife. She tried pushing the person off of her, but the attacker seemed to be in a murderous rage and kept going until Samantha fell on the ground, motionless.
It wasn't just an attack where it's just Samantha once, so she just kept going and kept going and kept going, and just didn't stop until Samantha died.
The 3 strangers then ran off, leaving Samantha on the ground, fighting for her life. Samantha's friends were in a panic. They immediately called for an ambulance and went to tell her family what had happened. The paramedics tried everything they could to save Samantha, but it was already too late. Samantha was gone. When Samantha's family got the news, they were completely horrified and immediately rushed to the hospital thinking that Samantha was alive. Samantha's mother, Allison, said in Britain's Deadliest Kids that she thought it was a mistake because she couldn't imagine her daughter in a situation where someone would want to hurt her. But as soon as they reached the hospital, the seriousness of the situation hit her. The family was not told about Samantha being dead, and they were only allowed to see her through a glass screen. Her mom would later remember banging on the glass, trying to get her to wake up, but Samantha never moved. When they were finally allowed into the room the next day, Carly said she debated with herself whether to go in and see her sister or not. Eventually, she decided to go in and see her, but regretted the decision soon after, because the image haunted her for days.
And I always remember thinking, do I really want to see her? But we did, and we went in, and that was my last memory of Samantha. I wish I hadn't have seen her, because I think in the early days it always haunted us, that picture of her.
According to the autopsy report, Samantha had over 43 separate injuries. Among them, 10 jab wounds in her face, arms, and chest. The fatal wound had gone through the chest and severed a major artery near her heart. During Samantha's funeral, which was attended by over 700 people, her family talked about Samantha's son, Callum, who only got to meet his mom for a short while before she was cruelly taken away from him. They promised to always tell of the amazing and compassionate person his mother was. Meanwhile, investigators were working around the clock, trying to find the monster behind the attack. They had managed to arrest a guy who was part of the group that had confronted Samantha and her friends. But when they interrogated him, they were shocked to learn that the perpetrator they were looking for was actually a 15-year-old girl by the name of Jordan Jobson. Samantha's family also did not expect their daughter's killer to be someone so young.
Which I found very, very hard to believe, especially because of the ways.
I like the way she does this. I like her edits. I like that. That's different. I like that. That's cool.
Samantha had died because it was so vicious, and I just couldn't understand how a 15-year-old girl could do that.
There's not much information about Jordan other than she grew up in a neighboring town called Walker and was a pretty normal kid until she started hanging out with the wrong crowd. She got into drinking and using illegal substances in her early teens and was kicked out of school for always skipping class. She soon became addicted to the white powder and started dating a much older boyfriend who was also an addict and would buy the stuff for her. As it turned out, the man the police had arrested was Jordan's boyfriend. Jordan later turned herself in and admitted to attacking Samantha, but she said that she could not really remember anything about the attack because she had taken several beers, vodka, and narcotics. She, however, claimed that she didn't mean to hurt Samantha and that she was only trying to push her away from her boyfriend.
That's cap! 43... Over, I don't know if it was 43 or basically over 40 injuries. That's cap.
Was asked why she had the knife with her, she claimed that she carried it because she was afraid. She later told the police where she had disposed of the knife after the attack, and the police were able to retrieve and use it as evidence. At the start of her trial, Jordan wanted to plead guilty for manslaughter, but the prosecution rejected this and charged her with murder. Samantha's family came face to face with Jordan for the first time in court and were disturbed by how emotionless she seemed.
She sat as if she was just on shoplifting charge. She was never remorseful for anything that she'd done. She took my sister's life, she took part of our lives. She just never, it was never shown.
Jordan was found guilty of the charges and sentenced to life in prison with a minimum term of 15 years. This was later reduced to 11 years following 2 separate appeals. As you can imagine, Samantha's family felt like they had just been slapped.
I'm sorry, go all the way to clock back to her sentences.
Jordan was found guilty of the charges and sentenced to life in prison with a minimum term of 15 years.
Again, what's the what? That don't make no sense. I'm confused. How you go from life sentence to a minimum of 15? Just give that glitch 15. And then reduced again to 11 years.
This was later reduced to 11 years following 2 separate appeals. As you can imagine, Samantha's family felt like they had just been slapped in the face. And to add to this, Jordan actually almost was released on parole in 2018 after completing her minimum sentence. She had been moved to an open prison to await her release. But then 3 months prior to her release, Jordan had been taken back to the higher security jail after she allegedly threatened another inmate. This should have been a red flag for the parole board to see that she was still a risk to the public and should not be let out. Still, they wanted to release her again in 2019 and had even started allowing her some freedom to go out on day release unsupervised. But then, just a few days before she was due to come back before the parole board, she violated some conditions on her day release, which meant that she had to stay longer in prison. All the while, Samantha's family was fighting hard to keep Jordan locked up. They even started an organization called Samantha's Legacy to help support victims of violent crimes. They called on politicians to help tackle the growing problem of violent teenage crimes by having longer sentences imposed on perpetrators. Unfortunately, the family's efforts to keep Jordan in jail were in vain, because in December 2020, they learned that their daughter's killer was out on parole. But then 6 months later, Jordan was thrown back in prison again for violating some release condition, which has never been disclosed. In an interview, Allison talked about the roller coaster of emotion that she and her family have been going through, not knowing when Samantha's killer will be let out again. But sadly for the Madgin family, Samantha's death would not be the only tragedy that they would face. Just 12 days after Samantha was knifed to death, her uncle died in a car crash. It was later revealed that the uncle was driving home to comfort his mother, who had also received news that her brother had died at his granddaughter's wedding. And that's not even the end of tragedies that plagued the family. In 2017, 10 years after Samantha died, her brother Lee died mysteriously after undergoing a foot surgery.
Oh my God. Oh my God. My condolences, man. Why do I feel like Jordan had something to do with this? I'm just throwing it out there.
According to some reports, Lee injured his left foot in 2014 after falling off a roof. He lived in pain for more than 2 years before he finally decided to have the surgery. The surgeons who operated on him said that they did not find any sign of an infection in the bone. So they reconstructed his heel successfully, and he was discharged on April 5th, 2017. But then, a week later, Lee went back into the hospital in a lot of pain and was admitted. His doctor said that they decided to keep Lee in the hospital a while longer so that they could keep an eye on him. On May 20th, Lee's wound had healed, and he was getting ready to be discharged when his health took a drastic turn for the worse. The doctors did not understand what was happening, and they tried everything to save his life, but he died soon after. In an inquest, one of the doctors said, "I was completely shocked. I ran tests again, but nothing was coming up. We didn't have a clue what was happening. It was like his system had been hit by something." What do you think about this case? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Oh, she should have kept that going. First of all, how do y'all feel about... How do y'all feel about, her, Anna Sauls? I think that's how you say it. Hopefully. How do y'all feel about her? I like her. It's different. It's new. I like the way she edits. And it's different. Because now we added that chapter, YouTube channel, and I just want to know how y'all feel about Anna Sauls. But it's crazy how the justice system for Jordan was it was like they were best friends or some shit. On and off. It was like an on and off relationship with the justice system. Jordan should have just got life without no chance of parole. Jesus. And I'm not saying it, but I am saying that I feel like Jordan has something to do with the clucknesses that happened after Samantha death. Because it's not. I feel like it cannot be a coincidence how her other family members just started having problems and deaths and stuff like that. Jesus. But let me know how you felt about this video, and shall react to more of Anna Sauls in the future. Let me know in the comment section below. Keep cool, keep blasting. I love you. Stay happy, my family.